Welcome. My name is Brandon Wager, a graduate student of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. This assignment is an institutional case study for ED-AD 832, Higher Education in America. It is entitled UNC and Reconstruction. The University of North Carolina is located in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. It is the first public institution of higher education in America and is distinguished by Rudolph in the course textbook as a colonial college. In addition, it ranks among the world's leading research institution and is a member of the prestigious Association of American Universities. The mission of the University of North Carolina is to serve as a center for research, scholarship, and creativity, and to teach a diverse community of undergraduate, graduate, and professional students to become the next generation of leaders. This mission was approved by the Board of Governors in November of 2009. The period of Reconstruction is a period of American history that focuses on reconstructing the Union after the Civil War, specifically focusing on how to bring back Southern states that seceded from the Union. It is a period of time that is recognized as 1863 to 1877, and is first noted by Abraham Lincoln by his announcement of the Emancipation Proclamation, where he stated, "All persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of a state, the people whereof shall then be in rebellion against the United States, shall be thenceforward and forever free." During Reconstruction, many political maneuvers were made. The passages of the Military Reconstruction Acts stated that the military should remain occupied in the South. It also stated that the military was to organize elections for constitutional conventions, and it made a special provision for blacks to vote for constitutional convention delegates. In addition to these acts, 3 amendments were passed for the United States Constitution. First, the 13th Amendment abolished slavery. The 14th Amendment granted citizenship to freed slaves, and the 15th granted the right to vote for these freed slaves. Also during this time, you saw the election of African Americans to political office in the South. The University of North Carolina was also affected by the Civil War. During the Civil War, the president of the university was President David L. Swain. He was a former 3-term governor who carried political influence in Raleigh. He served as president for 33 years until 1868, and during the Civil War, he was determined to keep the college open. The effects of the Civil War were felt harshly on the campus and in North Carolina. North Carolina supplied 1/5 of the drafted Confederate troops. The campus also took on the debts of many failed Confederate investments, equating to greater than $100,000. At the end of the war, the campus was occupied by Sherman and the Northern Army. New political alliances and a new constitution brings change to both North Carolina and the university. A new Republican Party is created consisting of former slaves and 1/5 the white electoral vote. In electing delegates to the Constitutional Convention, this newly formed Republican Party elects 107 Republicans of the 120 seats, and 15 of those delegates were African American. Coming out of the convention, North Carolina adopts a new constitution which granted power to appoint trustees to the governor and took it away from the state legislature. And after the election of new governor, Republican William Holden, the board of trustees is filled with Republicans. The university faced crisis, and the board of trustees decided, in order to face these crises, that the university must establish a new curriculum to solve its problems. This ran into problems when President Swain and the faculty resigned in 1867. The board worked agreement for Swain and the faculty to stay until the new curriculum was implemented. But the appointment of the Republican Board of Trustee members went ahead and accepted Swain and the faculty's resignations and hired Republican faculty and Republican President Solomon Poole. After this time, the university faced dangerously low enrollment. Democrats viewed the institution as Republican-led. Republicans viewed the institution as part of the old establishment. And many North Carolinians favored local denominational colleges with local ties. In fact, during this time, many were terrorized that were on campus. The Ku Klux Klan started terrorizing the Piedmont region of North Carolina, and according to Lee Loudis, by late 1869, Klansmen were riding openly through Chapel Hill. The institution continued to fail. Democrats regained control of the state legislature. The university was bankrupt. It had failed Confederate debts greater than $100,000, and the state legislature refused to support the institution with funds because of its Republican ties. Also during this time, Republican Governor Holden is impeached by this newly gained power of the Democrats in the state legislature. Governor Holden is the first impeached governor in the American history. And due to these failures, in February of 1871, the trustees vote to suspend classes on campus. During this time, many advocated for the reopening of the university. And in 1874, Walter Steele, Board of Trustee member, reported to the board and their president, "The walls and ceiling are seriously damaged by dampness and neglect. The furniture mostly good, and the carpeting and oilcloths as sound and fresh as could have been reasonably expected under the general circumstances of neglect which are painfully apparent about the entire premises. The portraits of distinguished members which adorn the walls, and which served in former years to stimulate the zeal and ambition of the students, are well preserved, and exhibited little signs of having been affected by the causes that general dilapidation which mournfully marks the appearance of the buildings and the grounds." After great advocation and the surveying of the facilities, the university reopens in 1875. And in a letter to a colleague, Charles Phillips writes, "Well, my old colleague and new friend, friend of the past and of the future, I look forward with interest when we shall again work together for the good of North Carolina at her once famous university." He goes on to write, "We have great work before us, a work of patience, of energy, and of tact. I rejoice that it has been committed to a faculty in which public says it has confidence." Though optimism may have been bright with the faculty and Phillips, the darkness of failure was cast over Reconstruction. And in 1877, President Rutherford B. Hayes ordered the federal troops to withdraw from the southern states. The end of Reconstruction signaled that the Union still had far to improve and to heal the wounds of slavery and the war.